We don't have a lot of public land in Texas. We got terrific state parks, national park, but really the gravel roads, that's our public space. Jared and I were on this back road in Big Bend, just outside the state park, and I said, hey, I got this idea about riding motorcycles across Texas. He's like, I'm in. And I just kind of became enamored with this idea of finding public spaces to explore in Texas.
Yeah. He said, you know, I'm really thinking about pitching this story that involves riding adventure motorcycles across the state of Texas. I was in. Like, I told him, I was like, I'll do this. I want to shoot this, and I'll do it with you.
So we've got to go from the coast to the highest point in Texas and connect as many gravel roads in between as possible. This idea of the back roads being our public land, it's where you see what Texas was and kind of the Texas history. It's where people lived and live.
Putting our boots or tires on the ground out here, like riding through the on those dirt roads through the forest yesterday, and then getting here, walking around, being out here on this dock. I mean, when you set foot in a place, when you start to engage it, it becomes a whole other thing, and you want to see more.
Yeah. I think these pockets like this of Huntsville State Park that are right outside a major city.
Yeah.
And it's the contrast. It's also it's like instant therapy. Boom.
Yeah.
Drive in here and you see the trees and you're like, there's a Chili's right out there.
Yeah.
And a Fairfield Inn and all that. But you come in here and you're like, this is what life is.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is life.
Yeah.
You got to get off the motorcycle and experience some stuff. We went down to the ocean, the Gulf, and I put my boots in the water. By the end of this trip, we'll hike up Guadalupe Peak and see what that's like.
Can't break this.
No. Rolling into a state park at night, pitching a tent in the dark, it's a challenge. Then you're pretty amped up from the day of riding motorcycles, fighting the elements and going across dirt roads and then stopping. Then you roll into a campground, you're exhausted, but then you lay in your tent. No TV, and you think about the day. When do you do that? We wake up to a present of scenery, and then we gotta leave. That's been the toughest part. But then I think we're both really looking forward to Black Gap. That's something we've never seen. It's wild. It's out there in the Big Bend.
You're a participant in the elements versus just a spectator looking through.
Yeah.
There's nothing separating you from nature.
Yeah, and so much of what you do is dependent on the environmental conditions that you should think about as a vehicle driver, but you don't have to take into as deep consideration.
On a motorcycle, it's like coast, and then coastal plains, and then boom, piney woods.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like changing channels real quick on the TV. You're kind of sampling everything.
Right.
And then when we got west of 35, and just the further we got, the more wild the country gets.
It's one thing to handle a bicycle that weighs 25 to 30 pounds. It's another thing handling over what can be pretty technical terrain, a 600 plus pound bike whenever it's loaded down. That's motorized, you know, 100 horsepower bike that's got, you know, if you're not nuanced with it enough, can really get out of control pretty quick. Motorcycle travel like this especially isn't easy. I think it looks easy. I think it looks maybe a little bit more laid back, and there's a certain vibe that goes along with the traditional perspective of a motorcyclist. Well, we got tubes. Oh, yeah. This type of, you know, back road, off-highway riding, even if it's on what looks like really comfortable gravel to ride on, can get pretty loose and iffy pretty quickly if you're not paying attention. So there's a big mental game that you're always playing on the motorcycle. You're not supposed to squat in spurs, pants up or down.
Our state parks, I think they are the heart of Texas. As we traverse these gravel roads, it's kind of made me think the gravel roads, they're the veins that pump the life into the heart of Texas.
We've got to summit Guadalupe Peak. I needed to do this. Needed to climb high above the clouds and see what's next.
Yeah.
So the more I see the state parks,
Yeah.
the more I want to go to more.
Yep.
Which has always been my nature with them.
Yeah.
And there's nothing quite like the state parks we've stayed in and the diversity. And
Yeah. Look at that. Oh man.
we got to do another motorcycle trip and connect more state parks.
Parks we haven't been to with seafood.
Seafood.
Okay.
All right. All right. It's in the books.
All right.